Hello and welcome to Efficient Pipe Design, class C14785-V. My name is Brian Tomasi and I'll be training this class today. A little bit about myself. I'm a CAD manager for Tetra Tech. I have actually grew up in the world of civil design for the past basically 16 years. My primary roles have been in site development, grading and drainage, utility layout and such, dam design. I've done mining, a lot of roadway design, and of course, pipe design. Been using Autodesk products for about 20 plus years, basically since I was about 15. So within this class, we are going to be going through and showing you how to manipulate and generate the parts lists, also to efficiently create complex pipe networks. I'm going to be focusing primarily on water in this case, but all the rules and principles can be applied to any type of gravity system as well. The structure fittings that we're going to be generating in this class are also geared around fittings for pressure piped. I know this was developed in 2009 when pressure pipes were not available. Now with 2013, I'm so excited they're moving forward with pressure pipes and bringing it into our system. So we will be able to morph this in over the next few years as they become more complex in that fashion. So from this, we're going to generate the alignments and the vertical profiles. That's going to represent the center of our pipe, and we're going to use the old intersection tool. I love this thing. It's not just for corridors, and we're going to use that to branch our networks together, and then we're going to extract the feature lines and create some pipe networks from them. So our learning objectives are, by the end of this class, you will be able to generate part structure families. You will then take those structure families and efficiently modify and manipulate them to whatever you would need for your parts and items. We're going to create a pipe network parts list from the catalog, and then we're going to go in and utilize a three-stage design method. This three-stage design method has been used in Tetra Tech for several years now. It mimics basically the construction document milestones. Now, it doesn't have to follow that method, but it really helps to massage the design through for checks and balances. Then we're going to lay out the designs in the alignment and profile form, utilize the Civil 3D intersection tool to tie your vertical together. Awesome tool. And then after that, we're going to generate, and you'll be able to design your pipe network from the alignment and the profile. So it's going to be divided into, the video is going to be divided into several sections. The first section is we're going to generate the structure part families. Within this, what we're going to be doing is we're going to create two new parts for our fittings and our valves. Now, you can take this and develop as many as you need. However, I'm just going to go through two to kind of get your feet wet. We're going to create one for rectangular models and for circular models. I typically like to take the 3D model and turn it on its head, show it to the client, and you know, that sometimes opens new doors. Secondly, we're going to discuss the naming methods. I know this is something that not all people, you know, kind of get into, but this actually is going to help us down the road as whenever we start generating part families and parts from them. When it pre-populates the name, it's going to be very important. So jumping on in, you can see I've got my Civil 3D 2013 open. I am going to navigate to the ribbon and move over to the modify because I need to modify my pipe network. So I come over here to the parts list and expand it. Now, before we dive into the part builder and start generating these part families, I want us to take a step back and think about this. I would recommend to make a copy of it. Before moving forward with anything, I always like to have a backup plan. So what you can do is you can go into the Set Network Catalog, and it's going to tell you where your pathing is for this. Those of you that have this on the network, this is probably you want to create a play place or a sandbox or what have you. Go ahead and copy the entire network, parts catalog network, to someplace else, and you can use that as your box and just point it to it from here. But I've actually made several copies because I always mess up things. So once the copies are made, I would come over here and go to the part builder and bring up the part builder. Now, as you can see, it opens up into the parts list. You can see that we have pipes and structures. For this instance, I'm looking to generate new structures. So we have several to choose from. This is straight out of the box. I do not want something with frames. I'm not looking at outlets, but I do want a junction structure, but again with no frames. So the ones that are in here that I'm most interested in are the cylindrical and the rectangular. I'm going to use the rectangular portions for my bins or my reducers or anything that is in rectangular in basic shape. Then my cylindrical structures are going to be basically for my valves. So to get started, I'm going to start off with my rectangular pieces and I'm going to modify the part size. Now, before you get crazy on me, yes, we're modifying it, but we're not going to modify it. We're going to come in here and open it up to create a save part family as. So I'm going to create it. Now, I don't necessarily want to put it directly under the junction structures, because I want to be able to take this and move it forward to 2014, 2015, and so on and so on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a brand new chapter. When I create this new chapter, well, you can name it anything that you want. I kind of identify it by what the parts that are going to be within this chapter are. So for this case, I'm going to call it my pressure pipes. And these are going to be for my bends and reducers. So we've got those in there, and now it's got the portion. Below here, these parts need to have unique names because they already exist. So what I would recommend you doing is come in here, give it a part name. For this case, I'm going to call this my PP-structures. Now, the part description, this is what basically pre-populates your parts with. So if you want something, I generally grab something that is generic but to the families that I'm creating, because every time I create a different part, I don't want it to pre-name it this. I want to keep it unique, so I'm going to take the same part name and I'm going to give it to the same part description, and I'm going to hit OK. So now when we come up here to the parts list and we go to the part builder, you can now see that it has created the pressure parts, bends and reducers, and it's got our structures below it. So I am now going to do the exact same thing for my cylindricals. So I'm going to go ahead and close this down. I'm going to save the changes. And I'm going to come back over to my parts list, go into part builder, and I am going to create a new catalog. So now I want to create one for my structures that are cylindrical. So I'm going to come in here again and I'm going to go ahead and modify the part size for the cylindrical pieces. And come over here, hit the save as, and again, I'm going to create a new chapter. Now, before you select this, make sure this portion is highlighted. So this chapter is going to be called my pressure pipe, and it's going to be for my valves. I'm going to hit OK. And my part name again needs to be unique, so I'm just going to call this my PP valves. And I'm going to give it the exact same name as below. I'm going to hit OK. It's done. I'm going to now close the drawing. I'm going to save it. And I'm going to take a look again at my parts list now and in my part builder. And now I've got the two new chapters with the items below. So in the next section, we're going to go in here and we're going to learn how to modify and add pieces to this. Thank you.